a championship on the line, as sometimes as ridiculous as this series can be. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a thrill. We're going to end this one tonight with 1 point being the difference coming into this race, but now the points are tied with Matt Kent not winning pole. He sits in third. Aiden Norman coming out with that pole. He's got the extra bonus point, and the green flag is out coming into this race. Kent already on that championship hunt. He's coming around Aiden Norman again. The points are tied coming into this race since the green flag. Well, since qualifying, I guess I should say. Matt Kent coming in as a race winner. Not only a race winner in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, as there's contact. The 62 of Norman gets turned around already. Catania goes around. Cody Pennell goes around. And the caution comes out. And championship leader into this round, Matt Kent, survives. And caution's out on lap number 1 of 35. Let's see what happened here. This is to Tristan Catania. Oh, and the 48 just gets tagged by Cody Pennell, but maybe we can get a different angle at this. Well, that doesn't help. I think Catania was just going around at this point. Oh, the 62 goes around Catania, tries to avoid it, and then there's Cody Pennell that was just behind him on board with the 2.8. Nowhere for him to go. He loses control. He spins out. Car's going around him. And kind of scary, just waiting for that crunch. And then let's see what happened here with... This is right off the start of this race. It looks like the 62 got tagged by the 3-1 of Kent. Let's have a closer look. Well, that's not going to tell us anything. Let's see if we can get a different angle of it at least. Have a look here. Straight away, Matt Kent says, I want that championship. It's mine. He's coming right up behind Aiden Norman, but where is the contact between them? I think the 31 tries to go to the outside and then maybe just hooks the 6-2. Let's have one more look on board here. Let's go on board with the 31 of Matt Kent. A little bit of contact there, and let's take a look at this from the sky. Well, that's not going to help. I think the 62... You got to call that a racing incident. 62 maybe comes up. Onto the 31. It's just so hard to tell. Have another look. A little bit of a bump draft. 62 wants to come back up. And luckily, nobody tags Norman. I think Tristan Catania got the worst of that one. The New Jersey pilot backs in hard into that wall. Have a look. So a few cars go around. Tristan Catania backs in hard into the wall. Thankfully, Michigan is such a wide place. So as they run, Matthew Kent leads the championship points coming into this race. And he leads the championship points. Right now, he sits ahead of Aiden Norman. But the points descend by 1 for every position. Meaning, the winner of this race gets 10 points. Second place gets 9, 8, 7, and so on. So everybody in the top 9 will score from 10 to 2 points. 10th on backwards gets 1 point. So coming into the green flag, since Aiden Norman wins pole, the points are tied, and it works out to this. Whoever finishes ahead of the next guy is your champion. Now, there is a bonus point for leading a lap, and there is a bonus point for leading the most laps. So far, Aiden Norman or Matt Kent have done neither, but it's a 35-lap race. We're going to have a good time. Noah Belleville sits in the lead, and you know Grandma Jeannie's going to be cheering on for him as well from DeSoto, Missouri. So let's have a talk with Belleville in that 41. Noah Belleville, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you.
All right, buddy, leading the race early on. You've had a lot of practice. So for those that care, how hard is the car to drive out here?
Oh, it's not hard at all. We're just cruising around here, but like we're on interstate traffic, so you're cruising, but you gotta be aware at all times.
Watching you guys in practice, though, the bump drafting was pretty hard to figure out. Have you figured it out by now? And who do you think is going to be your best dancing partner at the end?
Yeah, I got it fairly figured out, but dancing partners, probably none, because everyone's gonna be taking the runs. But man, it's already getting spicy. Kent just wrecked Aiden, and they're tied for the championship lead. So I know Aiden's probably ticked off.
Well, the runs are important.
That's gonna be something.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm really excited. You know, Aiden wants to win this one. It could be one of the last championships he wins. So we're going to green, buddy. We're gonna let you get back to work. Have fun.
Yep, I'm taking off.
Green flag, green flag.
There's the green flag. Noah Belleville getting back to work. Was cutting it close there. Didn't want to ruin the restart for him. For a brief shining moment, Tristan Catania will have the bonus point for fastest lap in this race, but it's about to be crushed by what's coming out of turn number 4. Noah Belleville with the championship leader on his outside. Matt Kenton, the 31, wants to get up ahead. He's got Riggs behind him in that number 3 car, one of the Bluegrass Bandits in tonight's race, driving that Ski MX-5. 3 wide already, and when we put this schedule together, the idea was, why not? And Mazda MX-5s at Michigan, why not? It's season 3 of the MX-5 Cup, and we got to go out with a bang. So they're 4 wide already, 5 wide already. Noah Belleville talked about the runs, and if there's one guy that knows about the runs at Michigan, it's Aiden Norman, who goes all the way to the inside to take this lead. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and it's one of the craziest things we're going to see. Look at that, 4 wide. Matt Kent's been involved. There goes the 6-2 of Norman. 5, 6, 7 cars involved. Yellow flag is out, and Elrich George flies up against the fence, and you definitely saw that one coming. So that was the longest green flag run we've had so far. Let's have another look at what happened here on lap 6. Locals in the house. What's going on, local? And I can't even begin to tell you what happened there. Let's try and get another look at it. Four wide, Matt Kent tries going up the middle there just as he goes up the middle. Painter in the 65 looks like he just makes a little bit of contact with Cody Riggs in the 3. All right, have another look here. Looks like Painter just gets loose off the front end of Riggs. And, I mean, we got to look at this from every angle possible here, but keep your eye on that orange car on the outside. Yeah, Painter just gets loose, gets down into Riggs. Norman goes for a ride. Matt Kent goes with him. Elrich George flies into the air. Can't wait to see what this looks like from the 40. With Aiden Norman. One more look, this time with Matt Kent. 4 cars get together. That brings out the second caution of the race. Noah Belleville continues to lead, and he's not mathematically out of this championship, so it could be a 3-way fight for the crown. .41 of Belleville still leads 8 laps into this race, and let's go on board with Thomas Andrews in this last accident. He was just kind of an innocent bystander in this, the number 2 Miller car on the outside. The Longhorns MX-5 gets loose, collects the 2 championship contenders, nowhere for Elridge George to go, and that does bring out the second caution of the race. And Briley Wright sits in the second position in the number 5-1 Don Franklin MX-5. See if we can bother Briley for a quick word. Briley Wright, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you.
All right, buddy. So now you're sitting in the second position after a few laps in the race scenario and after several laps of practice. I'll ask you what I asked Noah Belleville earlier. How hard is this car to drive?
It's pretty unpredictable. Whenever you get around a bunch of cars, it just moves the car all over the place. You're trying to keep the car straight and you're holding the wheel straight, but the car's just bouncing all over the place. It's makes it pretty difficult. I tried right there before that last caution to see what it'd be like to get up there around everybody, because I was just hanging out in the back. And as soon as I got up there, there's a wreck that happened. It's a good thing I avoided it, but I think I might hang out in the back for a little while.
Well, we're about to complete 9 of the 35 laps in this race so far. Coming into this race, the points are looking pretty interesting because the 2 championship contenders have tangled again. The first crash, Aiden Norman and Matt Kent in a racing incident out of 2, and this second crash here, it looks like Painter just gets loose off the 40 of Elridge George. So that's one thing there. Now you've got Noah Belleville, who's, 6 points out of this? So I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Green flag.
And there's the green flag, buddy. So best of luck, and I'm going to let you focus up, man.
Alrighty, man. Watch this. It's going to be wild.
He said, watch this. Anybody that's ever seen an episode of Top Gear knows when someone says, watch this, it spells imminent doom. So let's see what Briley Richard Hammond Wright is going to do at a turn number 2. 41 of Noah Belleville has Hell Michigan's Ryan Pinnell behind him in the Duff Beer MX-5, and you heard me correctly, he's from Hell, and he will tell you to go to Hell. It is about an hour north of the racetrack, genuinely about an hour north of the racetrack. Ryan Pinnell comes from Hell, and he sits on the inside line at his home track, now fighting for the win. He wants to spoil this championship, but then Matt Kent, the pitcher from Texas A&M, comes out of that 4th corner with the 41 of Noah Belleville behind him. It's going to be a big shove from the 41. And keep your eye on that yellow 6-2 and that red Avengers 31 all afternoon. This is the championship between them. And the Clarkson line in the chat, sometimes my genius is frightening. And, you know, I thought that to myself when we put this race together. I thought MX-5's at Michigan. Sometimes my genius is absolutely frightening. And you know what's frightening is 3 and 4 wide at Michigan. And how about this? The 2 championship contenders side by side. The 31 of Matt Kent wants to come up to the inside of 6-2 Aiden Norman. And Noah Belleville may just have a backup plan for this championship. There are the points again coming into this race. Belleville is not mathematically out of this. Now, what it's going to take is beating Matt Kent by at least 6 positions, and that's going to require some sort of retirement if he's serious about that, because Matt Kent not only has won a race in this season so far, he's looking to win too, and a win would definitely seal the championship for Matt Kent, unless Aiden Norman leads the most laps at Michigan. Remember, there's a bonus point for leading the most laps. There's a bonus point for leading a lap. So assuming Aiden Norman and Matt Kent lead a lap, which, if you've been watching 30 seconds of this race, you know is going to be possible at some point with the drafting here. Assuming both of them lead a lap, whoever leads the most laps has a 1-point advantage, so it may not be all about position. However, if there's a tie, we might see most wins have a tiebreaker. There's so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities, and winning this race does not guarantee the championship. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Is that Tristan Catania down on the inside? This is going to be really interesting. The 48. There he is, sitting in the 8th position, 42 seconds off of Dustin Painter. Here comes the cavalry. Watch this. If they don't wreck behind him, they're 4 or 5 wide. Are they even going to survive coming out of turn 4? Matt Kent to the inside line. Noah Belleville on the inside. These guys are crazy. Oh, but it looks so cool. Is there anything you can't do at this racetrack? Indy cars, MX-5s. Why haven't we had just a prototype race here? Why not? Aiden Norman says, let me just take a breather here. And the Thursday Night Thunder champion says he's going to step aside for a minute just to catch his breath. And I realize I've been muted this entire time. Absolutely professional broadcasting going on, and there's a good moment for sometimes my genius is frightening. I was just saying, Aiden Norman's not taking a breather at all. If anything, Aiden Norman is just trying to play with the draft there. Now, there is also a bonus point for fastest lap, which Aiden Norman has just achieved, 54.08 seconds. So these are the points coming into this race. We don't have live points. I got to figure out how that works. The day that I figure out live points as they run, just watch me take off. But one of these days, right, we'll figure that out. But the points run like this. Aiden Norman is now leading Matthew Kent by 1 point, coming to 19 laps to go at Michigan. Well, and I say that, but not on position. Aiden Norman has the bonus point. Now, this is assuming that Matthew Kent and Aiden Norman finish next to each other, but of course, don't forget, there's points for finishing ahead of the guy. But as they run, you just can't tell. You genuinely can't tell, and we're going to have to figure it out most likely on bonus points. Now, Thomas Andrews has the fastest lap, 53.71, so the bonus point no longer applies. And as they run, Matthew Kent leading this race currently your Season 3 champion. And honestly, these points are going to change every 50 feet anyway, so it literally does not matter. Tristan Catania about to be eaten alive by a million MX-5s, and I don't know if he's just messing around weaving down there, but he's He's got to get out of the way or get ready for a push. Here comes Matt Kent on the inside. Catania looks like he's just going to get in front of the 31. Hope for the push. The 41 of Noah Belleville now coming out behind Tristan Catania. Kent goes to the inside. Catania gets up on that 41. 4 wide. Cody Riggs leads a lap and gets a bonus point at the Michigan International Speedway. I think 7 drivers went green that last lap. Noah Belleville 3 wide. HXX in the chat saying 48 is about to crash and Catania's all over the place. A lap down, mind you, as well. Catania's in the 8th position. Cody Pennell, I believe, is out of this race. Thomas Andrews sits in 10th. Noah Belleville in that 41 car, leading. For now. But it's just like a race at Daytona or Talladega. As the 41 almost knocks into the side of the 3. It's just like a race at Daytona or Talladega, but probably a lot more dangerous considering these are little go-karts involved, and they're doing, what, 136 miles an hour? This is the view from Belleville's car. Foot to the floor at 130 miles an hour. It may not sound like the scariest thing in the world, but these little MX-5s are just amazing. If you haven't actually seen the Mazda MX-5 Cup, you need to. They recently just raced at the Daytona International Speedway, and of course it's always awesome. The MX-5 Cup is so much fun to watch. I love watching those races. Is that Noah Belleville coming into the pits? It is Belleville coming into the pits. They haven't pitted since lap 7. Now, the cars can only go 18 laps on 1 tank of fuel. They cannot make it on gas. Belleville is gambling on a caution before he can be lapped. And it does take 56 seconds to complete a lap here. Well, 56 for me because I'm garbage, but 54 for these guys. What's the fastest lap around here? I think it's Thomas Andrews. 53.71 for the driver of the number 2 Miller machine. Aiden Norman now shoots to the inside. He's going to race alongside Kent. 31 has protected the bottom all afternoon long. 4 wide for the lead, and Tristan Catania's a lap down. Now it goes down to 2 wide. Sanity prevails. Short little 70-mile sprint. 3 tire changes for these guys. Or maybe 4. I have no idea. I don't think they're going to need it. I really don't think it matters. The point is there's a championship to fight for. Tristan Catania, who's not involved in the championship, wants a piece of the 31 for some reason. The 3 of Cody Riggs on the inside, and Matt Kent now using all of that backstretch apron. No yellow line rule in this one. So the drivers can use the freedom of all the race they want. They absolutely can use all of the racetrack they want. And Matt Kent using all of the bottom. Ryan Pennell now trying to gain some spots behind him. Tristan Catania on the outside in that 48. And it's lucky number 13. Laps to go. Matt Kent continues to lead. Ryan Pinnell sits behind him. Now, of course, the danger of running this low on the racetrack is, especially in the corners, is that you're going to just touch that grass and your race car is going to lose control. But Ryan Pinnell, the hometown driver tonight from Hell, Michigan, and I reiterate, that is a real place. Ryan, from Hell, about an hour north of the racetrack. He wants some semblance of the lead. They're going 5 wide. That was Aiden Norman passing Matthew Kent in the grass. And now, Aiden Norman, who's been turned around by Kent before, Kent now shoots to the outside, and it's 3 wide for the lead at Michigan, and it's 12 laps to go. And I don't dare take my eyes off of this battle, but Aiden Norman passed Matt Kent with 2 wheels in the grass coming into turn number 3. Unbelievable move, and Aiden Norman was not happy about Kent getting into him coming out of turn number 2. Looked like a racing incident to begin with, but we'll see just what more of a racing incident there could be. Norman on the outside of Kent. This is the championship. It genuinely is. Whoever finishes ahead of the next guy between these two drivers is your Thursday Night Thunder champion. Thursday Night Thunder. God, your Mazda Mondays champion. Norman on the outside. And now they come into the pits right there. Who's going to speed? Who won't? Did Kent speed? Did Matt Kent speed? Aiden Norman now behind him. They come into the pits, and now the drivers can catch a breather. Remember, Noah Belleville pitted on lap 20. He has enough gas to get to the end, and if it comes to green-white checkers, he can pit again. Catania not leading. The local driver, Ryan Pinnell, leads this race. Watch this Aiden Norman pass. Norman in the 6-2. And this is not the pass that I'm thinking of here. But yeah, Aiden Norman had just overtaken Matt Kent here. Possibly the next lap, not sure. Can't believe he missed that moment, but no, that was just unbelievable here. Let's run this one back. I genuinely want to look at that passing one more time. I really hope we don't miss a caution, but let's run this back one more lap. And it was actually the lap prior here on lap 23. Got my bearings now, right? I can do this. There's the pass. Close enough. Let's run this one back. And just the move that Aiden Norman pulls. Through the grass on the inside of Matt Kent. Just fearless. And if we take just a closer look, Norman being given no room, and he says, that's all right. We'll come back up. And he just gets the job done. And that really is the gist of it there. Just two guys fighting for real estate, a championship on the line. Aiden Norman. He had room to come up on the 31. The 31 left him a little bit of a car length there. And he comes up right at the last minute to let him off the grass. 62 says, grass is fine. Aiden Norman running in 4th right now. He's behind Cody Riggs, Matt Kent. Looks like it's no speeding penalty for the 31. He comes out in the lead. Cody Riggs sitting in 2nd. Aiden Norman running in 3rd. And watch that frantic entrance into the pits. That was something. Trying to get it woed down right before the line, and he got it. I tell you, Matt Kent must have really got it down to the speed. Man, and I tell you, it takes a lot of smooth hands there to just control that race car. Kent controlled that thing. He held that beast down, and he just wheeled it down into the pits there. So Matt Kent makes the most of his pit road attack, and he sits in the lead for now. But now Aiden Norman, he's got a toe on the outside, and it's Cody Riggs pulling the 62 on the outside, 31 to the inside, and Thomas Andrews has come to help. 8 laps to go this time by. And it was a bit of a shaky start. A couple of cautions in the first, 7 laps, but still just An awesome race so far, an awesome little performance, and you gotta love these MX-5s, and you love that iRacing just brings these things to real life. And how about the 31 going to the inside of the 3? Now Matt Kent going down into the grass, trying to take a page out of the Aiden Norman book, and they're fighting for first. Take one more look at that one there. Riggs on the outside, Kent really using the best of that inside line with Ryan Pinnell behind him. And let's see if we can just get a better look there at Cody Riggs making the move on not Ryan Pinnell, I'm sorry. This is coming out of the pits. Cody Riggs passing Matthew Kent here earlier. Well, and this is the push, so let's fast forward a little bit. Coming out of turn number 4, Cody Riggs really just pinching Matt Kent down to the grass. Just want to get a closer look at how that one worked, because that was a little bit aggressive there. Watch the 3. He's got a great run on the outside of that 3-1. Now out of turn 3, have a look. Riggs on the outside, Kent on the inside. Riggs leaves plenty of room. Coming out of turn number 4, and now Matt Kent on the outside of Tristan Catania. Kent still in the lead, drag racing with Cody Riggs, and now Aiden Norman wants to fight too. 6 laps to go this time by with a Thursday night. I keep calling this Thursday Night Thunder, and it isn't. Thursday Night Thunder is on Thursdays. This is Mazda Monday. And I'll tell you what, it's gone just like every other race this season, which has been a half a train wreck, but we've always pulled it together at the end, so let's hope that the next 6 laps are well pulled together. Riggs on the inside. He gets a piece of Matthew Kent on his rear quarter panel, and Riggs survives. And now Kent really pushing that 3 car. Ryan Pinnell coming up behind the 31. And now it's going to be a 3 car line coming out of turn number 4. Have a look at this one again. Cody Riggs on the outside, the pride of Greensburg, Kentucky, one of the Bluegrass Bandits on the outside. He's going to get right in front of Matthew Kent there. Kent gives him a little bit of a love tap, maybe more than a love tap, right as Riggs is turning the car out of turn number 4. Aiden Norman gets to the 31. He wants to say, how are you now? And the 62 comes up out of turn number 4, and Norman giving the same attention to the 31 that he might have caught. And Matt Kent does a whale of a job saving that race car out of turn number 4, and a flash of the cherry red brakes from Aiden Norman into turn number 1. He's now behind the 31 of Matt Kent. Is he going to try the same thing out of turn number 2? Norman leaving no room for himself. And Matt Kent out of turn number 2. Norman getting a little bit aggressive with the back end of that 31 car. And there they go, bump drafting again into turn 3. Norman in the 6-2. Matt Kent in the 3-1. Aiden Norman making the most out of the bump drafting. Coming out of turn number 4. There's the turn. Matt Kent gets turned. The 48 of Tristan Catania gets up behind that 31. Aiden Norman comes away with the race lead as the caution comes out, and it's 4 laps to go in the title fight. Matt Kent, couple of scratches. Well, more than a scratch on the right side. He got dented hard. Let's have a look. Well, I'll tell you what, for as hard as he got hit right on the right side of the race car by Tristan Catania, he looks to be okay. Have a look. Aiden Norman bump drafting and bump drafting and bump drafting. He doesn't relent, and finally 31 gets turned, and Catania with nowhere to go, on board again with Kent. Now, looking back to the first crash of this race, Matt Kent was involved with Aiden Norman as well. Have a look at this one. On board with Norman now, Kent behind him. Lap 1. And now lap 31, car 31. On board with Tristan Catania. Nowhere for the New Jersey pilot to go. And how about 3 cheers for the hometown driver, Ryan Pinnell in the number 1-2, the hometown flavor from Hell, Michigan, a tiny, tiny, tiny unincorporated little place with less than 100 people racing his home race. Ryan Pinnell, how are you now?
I'm good.
Good, good. You're leading this race in that 1-2 Duff beer machine, which is fantastic. Excellent looking beer, one of my favorites. Cody Riggs is in the 2nd position. Aiden Norman, who just had a little bit of contact with the 3-1 of Matt Kent, who's very, very closely following that 62 now. Those two are just getting spicier and spicier as this night goes on, and I think we're going to have a couple of more fireworks from them.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the main reason I stopped and got gas, because I know that we're probably going to use every attempt at the green-white checkered that we have. So came down, got fuel, didn't get tires. I already took tires like probably 10-15 laps ago, and tires don't really wear too much here. So got out front. Not really the place I want to be, but it's where we're at, so we're going to try and make it work.
I think last night in the Cup race, Kyle Busch said something about you want to be the 3rd guy in line, you know, just to get that draft, almost like I don't know what you want to call it. I have no idea how the air works here, man. I'm not a scientist, but it looks like a super fun race. I mean, do you want to be the 3rd guy in line? Where do you think the best place is to be? Not even when the white flag falls, man, but coming out of turn 3.
Yeah, definitely probably don't want to be in the lead unless you just do a lot of blocking, which is what I'm going to try and do, obviously without wrecking people. But unfortunately, this track is so wide and you can use the apron, so it's really hard to block here. It's not like a Daytona or Talladega, so we'll see what we can do. We got Riggs on our outside and Briley lining up right behind me, so a lot of Bandit Racing drivers behind me, so we'll see if we can keep them at bay, and I don't know. We'll just have some fun.
It's 4 short miles. You got this, man. It's 4 short miles, and then and no matter what happens, we got your great podcast to look forward to with Dustin Painter after this, man. So I'll definitely be tuning into that here. But hey, buddy, have fun. We'll see you in 4 miles, maybe more.
See you, bud.
So Ryan's gonna go back to work. 4 miles. It's just 4 miles. The 31 and the 62 have made contact a couple of times. There's a championship on the line between them. They come tied into this race.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. 4 miles left in the championship. 31 of Matt Kent, 6-2 of Aiden Norman, nose to tail. Norman recently, I mean, it's what the last caution was for, really got up behind the 31, gave him a little bit more than a push coming out of the 4th corner. Matt Kent was displeased. Does Kent come down on the 62? He throws a heavy block out of that 2nd corner. Kent now down the inside. He's using the draft and he's fighting for the championship. Highest finishing position wins the title. Matt Kent or Aiden Norman. Noah Belleville by a long shot. He's got to beat Kent and Norman by at least 6 places. Kent now behind that 12. 3 wide out of turn number 4. White flag this time by. Kent in the 31. The Red Avengers car. Norman in the 6-2. How do you pronounce that? Spetzi? Is that what you say that? Like a German soda or something? I have no idea. Coming out of that 2nd corner. And it's just going to get closer. Are they 4 wide back here? Aiden Norman in the 6-2. Matt Kent in the 31 on the outside. Norman following Riggs, giving him a huge bump draft. You see it's ruined his nose. 65 of Painter comes up behind that 31. Look at Thomas Andrews on the outside. He's going to take Aiden Norman with him. 3, 4 wide. 31 gets into the 3. 31 gets turned around. Aiden Norman out of the 4th corner. He just has to survive. The Mazda Monday Championship will come down to the last lap. Belleville on the outside. Pinnell with a huge block. Norman wins the title, and at the line, it's Briley Wright who beats Ryan Pinnell by 6/100ths of a second. Aiden Norman finishing. Has he even crossed the line yet? Yeah, he's crossed the line. Aiden Norman finishing in 4th to salute Noah Belleville, who finished in 3rd unofficially. That's unbelievable. That's just wild. Briley Wright wins the MX-5 final round, not the Cup. Aiden Norman's your champion. Briley Wright wins the MX-5 Cup. Coming out of turn number 4, and watch this. Here's the fight to the line. In the grass, Greensburg, Kentucky. Briley Wright wins it for the Bluegrass Bandits. Now, what happened in turn 3? Dustin Painter trying to bump draft with the 3-1. And the 3-1 just gets loose and gets into the 3. Another look at Painter. I think just the same thing happened, just bump drafting in the corners. The 31 has no choice but to get loose. At that speed, you're not going to hang on to it. And you always thought this was going to happen as well. And that doesn't show us anything. Have a look at Cody Riggs. See his role in this. That's the white ski car in the 2nd lane. Yep, just bump drafting from the 6-5. Bump drafting in the corners. Just gets into Matt Kent. And then Briley Wright out of flippin' nowhere survives all of this garbage to beat Ryan Pinnell to the line. Have one more look, because I still can't believe this happened. Wright survives all of this. And watch this. Let's slow it down here, and this is 6/100ths of a second. Briley Wright beats Ryan Pinnell to the line by 6/100ths of a second. And the Bluegrass Bandit wins at Michigan International, the final round of the MX-5 Cup. That's fantastic. So, unofficially, Aiden Norman, your champion as they run. But let's forget that. Let's collect our top 3. Let's put this one to bed. We'll see you folks in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Podium interviews coming up. On the podium with our top 3, starting with the 41 of Noah Belleville, the long shot coming into the final round here, but Moldy Muskrat, as he's known, Moldy. It looked like you had a good time out there. The racing looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. First half was definitely a lot more fun than the second half. I stayed out those first 2 cautions to make sure I had a good shot at getting the point for the most laps led, because I knew it was going to be tight on points, and because of that, when I had to pit a lot earlier, so I kind of lost the pack. But then the caution came out, and it didn't really matter.
So, a 3rd place finish tonight. That bump drafting was crazy. That last lap with Ryan Pinnell was nuts as well. And Ryan, let's bring in our 2nd place finisher. What happened on that last lap? Were you guys just trying to avoid what happened with Painter and Kent?
No, I just threw a terrible block. I already apologized to him, but yeah, it was just, I mean, when Kent was behind me, and then I looked in my mirror, saw them wrecking, and then I saw Noah coming with a head of steam and tried to make the block, but it was definitely not a clean block. I shouldn't have done it, but it is what it is. And then by doing that, Briley got a good run coming off the top and then went low. And I tried to push him and into the grass, but it didn't matter. He had such a good run that even in the grass, he was able to get by me. So it was a hell of a race. I enjoyed it, and it's just Mazda Mondays.
That finish was awesome. I mean, it is. That really is what it is. That's Mazda Mondays. I mean, we kind of just make it up as we go along, and here we are, 6 races later. It was just nonstop cartoonish drama from start to finish, and then this guy over here, Briley Wright, ends up winning the race for the Bluegrass Bandits. Briley, we saw your onboard replay coming out of turn number 3, no chance, and then the wreck happens, and then all of a sudden you beat Ryan Pennell by what, less than a foot?
Yeah, I was backing it up going down the back stretch to make sure I could get a good run because I wanted to be on the outside. I figured the winner was going to be on the outside because whoever was on the bottom was going to get blocked into the grass. I figured they'd probably wreck. So as long as I had a run on the outside, I figured that'd be my best bet of winning. And then that wreck happened. So I just turned right down the track. There wasn't enough cars. Decided I'd take the bottom. And I knew Ryan was going to door me into the grass. So I just drove through the grass so I was already there. I knew if he hit me and I was in the grass, I'd probably wreck. So I just went ahead and got in the grass before he could hit me. And luckily had just enough speed to get to the line before him.
I mean, it. What more can you say? That is just Mazda Mondays, but it was awesome, man. Just a fantastic race. Congratulations on that win. And we got Thursday Night Thunder coming up this week as well. So the Gen 4 cars are coming to Atlanta this Thursday night right here on Rick James TV. Fantastic race tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. Aiden Norman, your Season 3 Mazda MX-5 Cup champion. There will be a Season 4 probably in early 2025, but we've got more awesome, silly racing coming up. So until that next race, everybody please stay